All right, we'll get started in a seat. So once you sit on that pillow, just like maybe scoot your seat, your sit bones, a little bit closer towards the edge of the pillow. So then you can start to almost tilt your pelvis like it was a bowl. Almost start to like think about tilting it forward, like you were pouring that bowl or the liquid that might be in that bowl, like pouring it forward. So then you can maintain that natural curve that happens in the low back. And then from there, can you lift through the top of the head a little bit higher? And if you feel like that's too exaggerated, then start to think about your ribs. And you might even take your hands and wrap them around the sides of your ribs here, almost like crab claws. And then start to think about drawing your fingers together or drawing your front ribs together a little more to lessen that curve in the low back and maybe find a little more engagement in the core. Just like slight, doesn't have to be like, this full on engaged state. And then once you find that like nice neutral where you have all three curves of your spine existing as they want to naturally be. Take a breath in to shrug your shoulders. And a breath out to draw them back and then slightly down. So you're just creating these little circles with the shoulders. So inhale, you squeeze them up. Exhale back and down. Do that a few more times in that same direction. Squeeze up. Draw them back and down. And I want you to switch that motion. So you'll draw them back, up, slightly forward, and then down. Take a few more in that direction. And then start to then find neutral, soften the shoulders away from the ears. And with your hands on your thighs or on your knees, go ahead and flip your palms up towards the sky. And as you feel your forearm like rotate in that direction, notice what that does to your collarbones. It allows them to broaden a little bit more. So that space across your chest can open a little bit more and take a full breath in right here. Open up your mouth, a slow sigh out. One more like that. Breathe all the way in. Slow exhale. So nice. And start to drop your chin towards your chest. Take a little roll of the neck. So left ear can draw over to the left shoulder. And then back through center, like the right ear, draw over to the right. Back through center, and then start to lift your chin, lift your face. Excellent. And then back to center. Start to take your arms out like a T, but your palms will face forward. Now think about the back of your hands where they land in space. I want you to start to send them a little further back behind you. Not too much, just enough until you feel that little bit of stretch across the chest. Now, if that's too much in the arms, soften the elbows, create a W shape. And then take a breath in to open the chest, maybe start to lift the chin, lift the face. And then as you exhale, start to wrap right arm on top of the left, like you're giving yourself a big hug here. And then maybe start to inch your fingertips a little bit closer towards your spine, just to create that little bit of a hugging action here. And then again, start to lift your elbows, lift your face, take a breath in. It might just be slight, like a little back bend. And then as you exhale, start to round forward. So maybe drop your chin in towards your chest. You're giving yourself a hug, but you're rounding your spine like you would in cat pose, like leaning forward, like so. Yes, and then come back up to neutral, look straight ahead. Take your arms back out like that T, open up if you want, the back of your hands draw further back. Now turn your thumbs down so your palms face back behind you, and take your hands onto your low back, one palm on top of the other. Take a breath in again. Can you drive the elbows back? Lift the face, lift the chin. And then exhale back to neutral. So nice. So we're going to do that all on the other side. So if you need to take a moment and take your legs out in front of you, give them a little bit of a wiggle. Wiggle the toes, roll out the ankles. You can. And if you want to cross the legs in the way that you may not naturally do so, just be aware of that. You know, we often take one leg in front of the other just by habit. Maybe you take the other in front just to keep things even. The arms come out like a T, palms facing forward. Sit up nice and tall. Take the hands behind you slightly. Lift the face, lift the chest. Excellent. And then this time it's your left arm that wraps on top. So you almost like stack the elbows here, maybe inch your fingers closer, like you're giving yourself that well-deserved hug. Lift your elbows, lift your face for a moment. And then as you exhale, round in, and you get to almost use the tug of your fingers on your upper back to pull those muscles apart a little more, like you're giving your upper back that nice stretch. Maybe drop your chin in. So nice. Stay here. Full breath in. Breath out. And then you'll come back up to neutral. Look straight ahead. Take your hands back out like a T one last time here. To then turn your thumbs down, palms back, arms down along your sides just for a moment. And then bend the elbows, palm over palm. Rest right on your low back here. Take a breath in, send your elbows back, lift your chest, lift your chin. And then come back to neutral. You get to send your hands forward for a moment. Let your palms face one another. And then on the inhale, reach your hands up. Start to then turn your thumbs forward. So lots of directions here. Take your hands behind you slightly, little arm circles. And then you'll come back around. Do that again. Hands reach straight forward. Reach them up. Palms will face one another overhead. Now then start to turn the palms out with your thumbs drawing forward. And then send the hands behind you. And complete that circle. Do that one more time on your own. Really nice and slow. See if you can keep the rest of your body still. So only the arms in that shoulder socket are moving. Nothing else moves. Once you complete that last round, take a breath in, look up at your fingertips as you reach overhead. And then exhale, release your hands down. Walk your hands forward. Meet me in tabletop pose. So you can move that pillow off to the side. Once in tabletop pose, spread your fingers nice and wide. You can either tuck your toes under, keep them untucked, your choice, of course. Start to find cat-cows here. So breath in to lift the chest, lift the face, lifting the tailbone. And then exhale, press into your hands, chin to your chest, round your upper back. Do that one more time. Inhale to lift the chest up. Exhale to round the spine. Can you press the back of your heart a little higher up towards the ceiling? Come back to neutral. Start to send your right leg behind you and just let it float hip height. If you want an added challenge, Maybe reach your left hand forward like you were shaking someone's hand, so your thumb is pointing up. Take a breath in right here. And if you want a little bit more of a challenge here, you can send your left hand out to the left, palm facing down. Maybe start to send that hand behind you and bend your right knee like you were reaching for your right foot with your left fingertips. Now kick that leg back again, reach the left hand back forward, set it down on the ground. Now tuck your right toes onto your mat and press back through your right heel. Get that stretch in your calf. So nice. Now you'll spin that right heel down, reach the right arm up to the sky. You'll take a big breath in here and reach your right hand forward. So right arm alongside your ear. Keep pressing your right foot down into your mat. Now you'll keep that same structure in your legs, just rise up with the arms out long like a T. So straight out from your shoulders. Drop the right hand down, left arm will rise, finding gate pose. And then cartwheel the hands down. You'll come back to that three-legged tabletop. The right leg will lift up. And I want you to just step the right foot in your own way. You'll step it outside your right hand, coming into that lizard pose. And take a rock of the hips forward, maybe a lift of the chest and look forward here. And then as you exhale, pull your hips back enough to pick your right toes up off the ground. Getting a stretch in the hamstrings. One more time like that, rock forward on the inhale into lizard. And then exhale back. Doesn't have to be as deep as you can go, just a little bit of a rocking forward and back motion. Now you'll come back forward. Start to tuck your back toes, your left toes under, and lift that knee up off the ground. Enough to spin your left heel down. And really slowly, we need to rise up to warrior two. We come up a little bit higher off the ground, but we still stay grounded in our feet. Arms are out like a T. Soften the shoulder. Nice and strong in both legs. Stay for a full breath in. Long exhale out. Now straighten the legs, reach the arms up overhead. Parallel the feet so you face the long edge of your mat. Maybe bring your hands to your hips like you did before. Send your elbows back. Lift your chest, lift your chin. I want you to hinge at the hips here and slowly fold forward. Maybe even soften your knees and then let your hands drop down. And you can widen your stance a little bit more if that feels easier. Bend your knees more if that lets more release in your low back happen. And then maybe drop your head. You can shake yes, no. Soften the face, soften the jaw. Stay for a breath in. A long breath out. So nice. And then start to think about finding a halfway lift of the spine. So thinking about your chest being parallel to the ground here, maybe coming onto your fingertips. And then look at your right foot. I want you to return to that lunge at the top of your mat like you were in before. So the hands will come inside the right foot. You'll turn the right toes forward and drop your left knee down. One more rock forward and back. So rocking the hips, lifting the heart, pulling the hips back, pick the right toes up. Now you'll rock back forward into that lunge, but this time reach both arms up overhead. It's almost like you have like two 90-degree angles with the legs. With that right foot forward. Once you have arms overhead here, we're going to take a little bit of a twist. So left hand will come forward, right hand might come behind you. Maybe it's too much and you just bring it right out to the side. And you'll reach the arms back up. Take your arms out like a T. So similar to what you did when you were in a C. I want you to send the back of your hands back, maybe lift the chest. And then wrap the right arm on top of the left, like you were giving yourself a hug. Take one breath in to lift the elbows, lift the face. And then exhale to curl in. So think about your elbows coming maybe inside the knee. Looking down at your right big toe. Let it ground into your mat to find that balance. And then you'll rise back up to neutral. Reach your hands out to the side. Bring your hands to your hips and your right knee comes to meet your left. Keep your hands on your hips here, elbows back, shoulders back, chest rises, chin rises, face maybe even looks up. And then you'll walk your hands back forward, tabletop pose. We land there. Take a breath in to drop the belly, lift the chest, cow pose. Exhale to round into cat pose. Now it's back into neutral, so tabletop position. Send your left leg behind you, let it float hip height. If you want an added challenge, right hand, reach it forward like you're shaking someone's hand. So find that stability in your center here. If you want even more of a challenge, maybe it's right hand that reaches straight out to the side. Maybe you reach it back behind you and you bend your left knee like you were reaching for your foot. They don't have to meet. Just that active reaching. Now you'll kick that left foot back, reach the right hand back forward, set the hand back down. Now that left leg stays long, but you'll tuck the toes onto the ground behind you. Press back through your heel. Spin that heel down to the ground. Your left arm, reach it up to the sky. And then you'll reach your left hand forward. Finding length all the way from your left foot out through your left fingertips. Keep the structure of the legs, rise all the way up with your arms out like a T. You'll drop the left hand down, right arm will rise. Finding gate pose. And see if you can lean and tip your torso over to the left. Excellent. Now cartwheel the hands down. You'll pick the left leg up behind you one last time, that three-legged tabletop. Just enough to step your left foot forward outside of your left hand. And it might be helpful to come up to your fingertips. You'll rock the hips forward a little bit, lift the chest, finding lizard. And then exhale, you'll pull the hips back a bit more and pick the left toes up. And do that again, rock forward on the inhale. Exhale, pull back. Now you'll rock forward enough to then tuck the back toes. It's a little tricky. You'll pick the back knee up, spin the back heel down to then make your way up to warrior two. Take your time getting there. Your left toes will point forward towards the top of your mat. Your right toes should, in theory, point towards the long edge of your mat. Arms come out like a T. Maybe bend into that left knee just a little bit more. Stay for a strong breath in. Stronger breath out. Straighten your legs. Reach the arms overhead. Parallel the feet. So you're facing the long edge of your mat here. Hands come to your hip, elbows back, lift the chest, lift the face, and then you'll fold forward. Nice and easy here. You can, again, bend your knees as much as you need to here. Maybe you even start a little bit of a rocking motion side to side. If you want, you can drop the head. Again, shake it yes, shake it no. Take about one more full round of breath right here. And you'll walk your hands under your shoulders to find that flat back here. And look at your left foot. I want you to then bring your hands towards the inside of it as you turn your left toes back to the top of your mat and drop your right knee down. Returning to that lunge. So one more time here to rock the hips forward into lizard. And then exhale to pull the hips back, pick the left toes up, just a little micro movement. And you come back forward, create that 90-90 with your legs. And rise up with the arms. Reach them up overhead. Now it's that twist here, just nice and gentle. Right hand goes forward, left hand can go behind you or reach it straight out to the left, like almost like you're creating an L shape with the arms. So nice. Now reach the hands back up, look forward. Take the hands out like a T. Now breath in to send the back of the hands a little bit further back. Lift the chest, maybe lift the face. And then exhale, it's the left arm that wraps on top. Take a breath in right here. And then exhale to bring elbows inside of the knee, like you're almost curling into this little ball, like giving yourself a hug. Come back up. When you're ready, hands come out. Start to then bring your hands to your hips. Left knee meets the right. One last time to bring elbows back, shoulders back. Little back bend. You lift the face, lift the chin. And then you walk your hands tabletop pose. Start to then take this side to side lateral movement of the spine. So think about the letter C as you move from side to side. And the spine, the head, the tailbone, also part of that line. And take your knees a little bit wider apart. Maybe bring your feet closer together. Slide that pillow, if you have it, underneath your chest, underneath your head. As you drop down to your forearms, find child's pose. So you're just curling in here. Stay for a breath in. And breath out. If this is too much on knees or hips, you can always back off and just stay on your forearms and drop your head. And just one more full breath in. A place of rest. And then breath out. So nice. For a moment, you'll rock back onto your hands and your knees, tabletop pose. Just to then bring your legs around in front of you. Give them a little shake. And then take that pillow behind you. You're going to lay down onto it, but it's the length of your spine, right? So rather than it being the opposite traditional way you would put it under your head, I'm going to take it long ways, the length of your mat behind you. And then you'll just slide back onto it. So it just gives a little bit of a lift of your chest here. So your heart is almost the highest point of your body. And you can keep your legs long if you want, or you can bend your knees, whatever feels more supportive in your low back. Take a moment to get settled in a place that feels good. Reach your hands straight up towards the ceiling here. Palms will face one another. Similar to what you did before. Might want you to keep, I'm going to start to reach the hands up and overhead if you can here. So nice. And then reach them back up towards the sky. Now keep the palms as they are. Start to open the arms like a T. Nice and wide here. Now bring the elbows a little bit closer towards you. So create the letter W. Let the elbows find the earth. Let the forearms and the back of the hands find the earth. Now, if this feels okay and it feels like a nice stretch across the chest, across the shoulders, you can stay. If it's too much, bring the arms down closer to your sides. And if you can, close the eyes. Soften something. So whether it's a feature of the face, the fingertips, the toes, the eyes here. Take a full breath in and a long exhale out. So just in this supported fish pose, supported little back bend, encouraging the heart to open a little bit more. Bringing in a little bit more restoration. Again, take a big breath in to expand that space even further. You draw in more air. Maybe even open up your mouth, letting out that sigh on your exhale. And do that 2 more times on your own here. So seeing if you can draw in a little bit more, the breath in. Release a little more with the breath out. If you choose, if this feels supremely comfortable and you'd like to stay, and this is your choice for your Shavasana, you want to stay in this shape to find your final rest and release, please, by all means, stay. If you'd rather lie completely on the ground, you can just ever so gently roll off to the side of that pillow. Remove it. Either place it underneath your head or underneath your knees, underneath your thighs. And then just find your final resting spot. And then again, wherever you've landed, take that big breath in. Slow exhale out. You have some time here to rest. Give yourself that permission to do so. Notice where your mind wants to travel to. And without any judgment, just invite it back. Maybe to the sound or the awareness of your breath. Maybe to the softening of your toes. Softening of your fingers. So gently start to rock the head side to side. And then start to find a little more movement in the fingers, in the toes. Maybe that movement becomes just a little bit bigger and you find a roll of the wrist, a roll of the ankle. And begin to bend your knees. When you're ready, you can roll to the side of your choice, but keep your eyes heavy if you can to press yourself up and find a seat. Taking a moment of stillness here. If it's helpful, maybe bring one hand to your navel, one hand to your chest, or both hands onto the center of your chest here. Whatever helps ground you, helps you anchor into this physical moment. Then again, take a breath in, fill all the way up. Feel that area expand. A slow exhale out of ease. But again, full breath in. Slow exhale out. And if you'd like, you can bring your hands together in front of your heart, maybe even bow your chin towards that space. Remembering that no effort is ever wasted. So just showing up is enough. Showing up as yourself is enough. Maybe you choose to take your thumb tips to the center of your forehead. Maybe lift your chin, lift your face. Remembering to be kind to yourself first. You can then share that kindness out in your own way with others. Namaste.